I have to say, I love the new Cadwell Park, but just if you're going to be practicing it, you may end up like this a few times. This is on my first run. Just a little warning that things can really get out of hand real quick. So let's get into it. So season 4 is almost here. Can't wait. It's week 13 at the moment, fun week. So get out there, have some fun. Be careful going into ranked and unranked races, as you know, there's always both. Check what you're going into before you go into it. If you're racing in ranked, race like it's ranked. If you're racing in unranked, race like it's ranked. So in the season 4 highlight, just to list off a few things for you, I'm going to leave a link to the release notes down below, but here's pretty much the quickfire list of all the most important bits. If you want to read it in more detail, which there is a lot of detail, the link is down below. So the season highlights include the BMW M4 G82 GT4 car, which I'm in at the moment, and it sounds incredible. The McLaren 720S GT3 Evo, pending final approval from McLaren, but should be all right. Mini stock, which is free. The dirt mini stock, which is free. Cadwell Park, which this is where we are, 4 configurations. We have Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps has been updated. Not at the moment now. I just did a Porsche race there. It was excellent. It's piss and rain, but it was a super race. But they're using the old one, probably because that was on before the update came. So next time we see Spa, it's probably going to be the all-new, completely new, reconfigured, rescanned, remodeled. Everything has been done up on that track. So I know everyone loves Spa. So apart from the long straights, they get a bit boring. But hey, Circuit Zolder 2024 art upgrade. So that's seen a serious touch-up too. The ability to launch AI sessions from official sessions, pending final testing. This is a really cool feature because, as some of you may know, jumping into AI races can be a bit, tedious, setting it up, this and that. So now you can just go into an official race and just, I want to race this as a form of practice. If you don't have time, if you don't trust yourself on the track, you can just AI race instant. That's a really cool feature. A feature I didn't know I wanted, but it's here now. Spotty rain for timeline weather mode. This is a cool one because this adds in like a maybe it might rain, maybe it might not rain in location based on the track. So you really get pure spotty rain. Just, one of the parts of the track might be dry, another part might be wet. It adds in this really big maybe area. So instead of like clear to light rain, you have spotty rain, which is really cool. New multi-class official series distributed splits algorithm. That's a bolognese of a sentence there. Basically, they want to see less of the same car in multi-class races, like in IMSA, like the GT4 and LMP3 car mix. When certain cars that players think are the meta, they want less of that. So they want to see more variety. They want to see more representation of all the different brands they have in iRacing. So they're going to be doing some testing here. That's the iTested thing. If you check out iRacing, if you take part in that, you'll get a little award saying I tested or something like that. So do go out, give them a hand there so that way we can have more variety in those multi-class races. Tire preconditioning for standing starts, meaning that if you are doing a standing start, let's say, for example, in the Mazda, it will have simulated a full lap. So when you start, it's as if you've done an outlap and a pretty aggressive outlap, let's say. So you're going to be starting with some tire temperature, some brake temperature, as opposed to nada. So that's much needed. I don't know why that's coming out only now, but it's here. Natural clutch variants. So that's going to make imperfect clutches because as it stands at the moment, you can just have perfect launches all the time. So there's going to be a bit of imperfection going on. And if you fly too close to the sun, you might get a jump start. So all this kind of thing, for where the bite point is, and you can't simulate it or use any, not hacks, but some hardware, software kind of stuff to get the perfect launch all the time. New environment sounds audio codec, which is cool. Shared lone qualify replay. This is interesting because I was in a qualifying session earlier on and I could see all the other cars and my relative as if we were racing each other. Obviously, I couldn't see them on the track, but they were there. So that's interesting. You're able to kind of see your competitors if you leave the pits at the same time and see where they're at and if you're gaining or losing anywhere. Really, really cool. And you can also spectate it. So there's no mystery qualifying laps anymore. Someone does a banging lap, you can go check it out. 8 newly rain-ready vehicles. The TCR class, the Mustang F4 500S, the Clio, the McLaren 720S, the BMW M4 G82 GT4. 3 new cars for AI racing, the new M4, the new 720S GT3 car, and the mini stock car. 8 new track configurations for AI racing, so there's Cadwell Park 4 configs, and Spa has 4 configs too, the rescan version. So we're going to call that Spa 24. That's a good name. and nearly 1,000 professionally crafted iRacing vehicle setups. So don't be afraid to go into an open setup race, because apparently we should have some decent base setups to work with. So give them a crack. So to wrap up this video, let's check out the BMW M4 GT4 car, the G82 model. It sounds really cool, and if any of you have tried it, this thing really turns. Like, it's kind of suits my driving style big time. This is why I love the old M4 so much, but this car really goes, and it really turns. Like, this is cold, you know what I mean? So as you can tell, Cadwell Park is a bit of a roller coaster, so I'm going to be taking a handy. This is my first time out here. Well, kind of halfway. I'll show you where I crashed the first time I was out here. So it looks very small, this track. It looks super tight. Like racing around here is going to be something else. Like 1X's galore. And as we come around here, there's a bit of a chicane, and then we get back on the track. This is where I flipped last time. There's the ramp, the Irish space program I was trying to do. This is a huge downhill section back there. Coming down there in VR is going to be incredible. I think I've actually seen a race on YouTube here before of a guy in a Formula car. This track is something else, honestly. The new slowdown system as well is really cool. I've tested that out. No issues with it at all. I cut the corner at Eau Rouge, and it gave me 0.6 penalty, and I had to lift a tiny bit to give it back. And it felt fair. It didn't feel like my whole race was being destroyed. So yeah. So we've survived one lap. This is definitely the track I've seen before. I've seen a video on YouTube of a guy going into a wall up here. I do like the dash display on this car. It's really cool as the tires start to warm up. It really drives on the front, this car does. There's a bit of runoff that we're desperately going to need when we're racing here. Can't wait to race Super Formula here. Now, let me see if I remember what's going on up here. So we're going to brake here, down into second gear. Then we're going to have a ridiculously tight chicane, and I want to just feel that downhill braking of that wild corner. So that comes over here, it just keeps going. So we're going to slow down, clip a bit of curb here, take a load of curb on the inside, and then we're coming down the hill, braking at the change in tarmac. Oof. What a funky track. And then we come into this very intimate section, it feels like. Yeah, oof. A lot of work going to be needed there, but let's have a quick look of some of the outside shots. So you're very fortunate to have my excellent driving here with this car. Does look like I'm kind of moving it. Looks like I'm struggling a lot. Car looks great. Car does look stunning. The G series BMWs, they have a little spot in my heart. There's all that runoff we're going to need. Yeah, awesome car. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. Let me know what you're loving the most coming in the Season 4 update. And hopefully I'll see you out on the track.